Coach, in Tulsa on Wednesday, it goes in the books as an 18-point win, but boy, was this a grind in the first half for your club, especially with a 1-of-6 start from the floor.
Yeah, it sure was, Jeff. I thought Tulsa played really good basketball, and I thought we were playing hard. It's not like we weren't, we didn't. Certainly, they have our respect and in a major way, and they're big and physical and athletic, and they're the biggest team in our league. And then they kind of, now they're changing it up, man and zone, and so we got off to a sluggish start. Didn't finish some plays around the basket that we normally make, and then to their credit, they were really on attack mode on the offensive end and made some things difficult for us. We double the post quite frequently, and certainly against them we do, and it was incredibly effective at our place. And like any good team, they were ready for that, and I thought they kind of baited us into some doubles, and we were really overextending our doubles, which created a lot more space for them and gave them some really, really good looks. And then they really hurt us on the glass, which is what they do. I mean, they're a top 10 offensive rebounding team in the country. I believe going into our game, they were number 7 in the country. But because of us rotating when we maybe didn't need to, it just opened up all kinds of offensive rebounding opportunities. And Mooney made a last-second three to cut the deficit with us being down 11-8, and kind of gave us a little momentum going into halftime. And we made some minor adjustments that I thought really, really helped. But more than anything, we just played more sound and more discipline, and it really showed, obviously, in the scoreboard in the second half.
I thought the numbers were interesting. First half, Tyler Hagedorn 4 of 5. The rest of the starters 4 of 18. Second half, Tyler Hagedorn 5 of 5. The rest of the starters 13 of 19. So Tyler, consistent. The other guys, the shots started to fall for them in the second half.
Tyler Hagedorn played fantastic basketball. And he in the game against those guys, 9 for 10 from the field for 20 points, and he gets a double-double, 20 and 10, with 3 offensive rebounds and had 2 assists with no turnovers in 30 minutes. And he just had a look to his eye. He just had that look, and he was feeling it. He made some really tough finishes, and then I think everyone else obviously really picked it up in the second half, and we started feeling it. If I remember, we shot 75% in that second half, which is, obviously just a gaudy number. And there was only 7 possessions in that second half where we didn't score. And so we certainly had it going, and we had some easy ones, and then we started knocking down some threes. And, and basketball is a rhythm game, and shooting is contagious. And fortunately for us, we were on the right side of the stick in that second half.
So was it adjustments, or was it just those shots were falling?
Well, the shots were certainly falling. I thought we played much more in attack mode.
Okay.
But I think part of that too, Jeff, is we were getting stops on the defensive end, which kind of led into our transition game. And when you're taking the ball out of the net all the time, it's a lot harder to get easy baskets. But we were getting a lot of stops. I thought the first 5 minutes especially, I think they scored their first possession, but then didn't score for quite some time after that. And so it was just a lot easier. And then we were just more aggressive in that second half on the defensive end. I thought we played with a lot better mindset. We made it difficult for them to get the ball into the post. And then we just stopped over-rotating. We were just a lot more sound with what we were doing that way, and that really alleviated them from getting too many more offensive rebounds, which was probably their best, not probably, it was their best offense in that first half. So we just tightened things up, played harder. It's amazing, just playing harder and smarter, what that will do. And then our bread and butter is our defense, and we were getting stops, and that fed into our offensive game.
Then the final home game of the regular season on Saturday against Omaha, you win by 15. And really, I thought Nick Fuller really provided you with a nice spark in the first half.
Yeah, Nick's just been fantastic all year, and I think he'll have a great chance to be the 6th man of the year in the Summit League. And has a double-double with 11 points on 5 shots and goes 7 for 8 from the line. And Nick just really knows how to play. We played him at the 4 and the 5 that game, and he's been steady Eddie all year. Every time you look at a box score, you just know what you're going to get out of him every night. But, it was a lot of emotion that night. It was a one-day prep. It was kind of we had 3 games in 7 days, counting the non-D1 we had on Sunday, and then travel to Tulsa is not exactly the easiest thing in the world for us. So getting back, we had a one-day prep. But our guys had a lot of emotion with our senior night, and our teammates love our seniors with Nick Fuller and Carlton Hurst, who's obviously still out, and Austin Sparks and Joshua Doss. And so I thought our seniors played great, but our guys sent out our seniors on the right note. And the big key was, I believe it was a tie game at the under 8-minute media timeout. And we just really emphasized, hey, we got to finish this half with a flourish. And we went into halftime stopping them on 9 of their last 12 possessions, and we scored on 8 out of 9 to take a 15-point lead.
Yeah, 15-0 run from the end of the half to the beginning of the second half all the way through. And then the defensive numbers, really impressive. The lowest shooting percentage for Omaha in the Summit League this year, 35% for them. And then Zach Jackson, one of the top scorers in the league, just 1 of 7 from the floor.
Well, and Jackson was the player of the week in the Summit League, and we did a really good job. He's been playing such good basketball, and certainly he'll be an all-league guy. And that was a big key to the game, as we have to try to neutralize him. And he had a good game at their place. Early against us earlier in the year, and so that was key. But I thought we really, you're right, Jeff, we really defended well that whole half, and to hold them to 27.8% in the first half and only 3 free throw attempts, that was the key, because we missed early in that game. I believe we missed 6 layups, and I mean not difficult layups, like just layups. And so you go to those timeouts and you're kind of looking around like, well, what do we need to do? And it's like, well, if we make our layups, we have, let's say we make 4 of them, that's 8 more points. And instead of it being tied, you're up 8 to 10 or whatever. So you just keep chopping wood, right? Just keep going. We got to get our eyes up, finish stronger. Don't be tentative, but keep defending the way we were. And a big key was we did a good job getting back on defense and eliminating them in transition.
What's funny, you talk about those missed layups. You still shot 58% from the floor on your 2-point shots. The 3-point shots, though, just 2 of 14, and you still scored 79 points, even though you really weren't hitting a lot of threes.
Yeah, that was the encouraging part, and that's part of the, sometimes you're in a game, and as a coach, as a player, as a fan, you sit there and say, well, it's tied, but it feels like we should be up by, 8 or 10, or the flip the script. At Oral Roberts, we were down 8, but it felt like we should have been down 15 to 20. It's just funny how it works, and so you just got to keep grinding, right, and keep executing, and then just finishing the plays. And we stress all the time, you got to finish possessions defensively with 2-handed rebounds, and you got to finish possessions on the offensive end with good shots. And our guys stuck to the process, and that is what's exciting, because we didn't, we ended the game 2 for 14 from the 3, so certainly we didn't stretch it out early in that second half. And Mooney had a wide open 3. I think Simpson had 2 wide open 3s, and they just didn't fall. And that's how it goes some nights, right? Simpson goes 0 for 4, Mooney 1 for 5, and both those guys obviously were very confident in making those types of shots. So sometimes that happens, but our guys just stuck to the course and didn't let that get them down or affect them adversely on the defensive side.
And so finally, here we go, final game of the regular season at Frost Arena on Thursday, and it really is the matchup between the two teams playing the type of basketball that everybody wants to see. I mean, this is the type of matchup you want the final weekend of the regular season.
It is. It's exciting for everybody. It's exciting for the fans. Certainly, and you've heard me say this before, but it's great for the state of South Dakota. Yeah. It's great for the Summit League to have, the kind of national attention that both South Dakota State and the University of South Dakota basketball programs have earned throughout the country. I think it's tremendous for everybody. And so now, obviously they only have 1 blemish on their record in conference play, and that was to us. They've taken care of business ever since then. And, we certainly had a bump in the road the game after at Denver, but responded in a great way. And I think both teams are on a 6-game winning streak right now and playing their best basketball of the year. So, they're very, very good. They have weapons all over the floor. They have they are high octane on the offensive end, and have really improved since we played them last. So it's going to be a heck of a game. I'm sure it'll be sold out. And then obviously they're very good at home. I don't know the exact number. I think they've won 19 or 20 in a row at home and haven't lost at home this year. And we haven't won in Frost Arena for a long, long time. And I'm sure you know that number, Jeff. You don't need to remind me. But it's been quite some time. So we're going to have to play excellent basketball to have a chance to beat them. And so we'll see what happens.
One of the things they do is exactly what you guys do, which is get to the free throw line. And nobody does that better than Mike Dahm, although you did a nice job of keeping him off the free throw line in that first meeting. He only took 4 attempts.
Yeah, that was big for us. Last year he averaged 14 free throws a game in all three. Averaged 14 in each of the 3 games that we played him, and of course he shoots it at a high clip from that from the charity stripe, and so we got to do a good job that way. Neither team really shot a whole lot of free throws that game. It was a physical game, and it was like a Big Ten game, the way it was called, or a conference championship game, and so. But that'll be big, and Dom certainly. First team All-League guy, Player of the Year, first team All-League guy 2 times in a row, his freshman and sophomore year, and Player of the Year, and he just puts you in a lot of different tough positions. It's rare to find a guy that's 6'9" that can score it inside and really shoot the 3 and can handle and pass and, and you name it. And so he just puts a lot of pressure on your defense, and then they surround those guys with a bunch of guys that can shoot it and pass it and handle it. So they're going to make some plays. And, early in our game last time, I think they made their first 4 threes, and it was 6-0 and 9-3, less than 2 minutes into the game, 1:45 into the game. And so once we settled in, I thought we did a lot better job. But they can really, really score it in bunches. And David Jenkins is, their freshman guard, who was the Player of the Week, I think, 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, Reed Tellinghausen has been an all-conference guy and just Mr. Steady and does everything for them. And Skylar Flatten is shooting it at an unbelievable rate right now. So it's, they're really good for a reason, but we're good too. And so it should be a heck of a matchup.
You mentioned Jenkins, and I was going to bring Jenkins up. And here's a freshman kid who was playing in his first state U game, and the moment seemed to maybe get to him a little bit. You guys held him just 3 of 12, but this is a kid now. He's certainly not playing like a freshman anymore. In fact, 67 points in his last 3 games and hitting 52% from the floor. So he's figuring it out.
Yeah, he's playing at a high level. He certainly doesn't look like a freshman out there. He had, just like anybody does, you go through ebbs and flows of a season, and there was like 3 or 4 games kind of in the middle of the league where he struggled a little bit, but obviously he's figured it out, and he's shooting it and scoring it, and not just shooting it, he's scoring it at a tremendous rate right now. And so you just can't say enough good things about. It's very rare that you find a true freshman, a freshman, whether they redshirt or not, but a true freshman that can come into a winning program like South Dakota State is and have a positive impact like he has.
Does it help to only have that one game to get ready for this week?
I'm not sure. Yes and no. To be quite frank, I wish we were playing Saturday. Yeah. It's a long break going into the conference tournament. You just want to keep playing games at this point. That was why we scheduled that Peru State game, because we would have had 3 games in 22 or 23 days. We'll handle it just like any other week, and they're a tough prep. They do so many different things, so you got to really be on point with the preparation for these guys.
Certainly no extra discussion has to be given to your team about what this game means.
Oh, no. And that's what's exciting. Our guys have had a good look to them. I thought that it's such an emotional, when we beat South Dakota State the first time, you try to guard against it, but I thought we had you're in front of 5,000 fans, da-da-da-da-da. Now you got to travel to Denver. Denver was playing good basketball, and just boom, they jumped on us. But since that point, our guys have played very good basketball and played very poised and under control. And every game for us is, I'm not going to say been a must-win, but basically it has been to give ourselves a chance to have this opportunity. And like we said after the Denver loss, we still control our destiny, just as South Dakota State controls their destiny. And that's the beauty of it is both teams control their destiny, and obviously I think everybody expects it to be of a very, very, very high level Division I men's basketball game.